What is up, everybody? Jeremy Icenfire here, and welcome back to the channel. And this is going to be my trailer breakdown for the upcoming episode of From, Episode 4, entitled This Way Gone, airing this Sunday. And after this recent episode, Episode 3, Tether, it really seems like we're moving towards a really big event that is going to be happening. And I have heard that we do have a pretty big event that was similar to the Colony House massacre in Season 1 that is coming up pretty soon, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But after the first 3 episodes, it definitely seems like a big slaughter is coming. The Episode 4 trailer starts off with Julie and Tabitha, and it seems like this is definitely going to be a running theme for Tabitha in Season 2, her having these visions of these weird, ghoulish children that she keeps seeing. And I think for Tabitha in Season 2, her story is very much going to be finding out who exactly these children are and what exactly do they want from her. Because they seem to only be interacting with Tabitha up until this point, and as far as I can tell, Tabitha seems to be the only one that can see them. Even in Episode 3, it seems like even Ethan couldn't see them, and we know Ethan is one of the few people who could see the boy in white. So it's going to be interesting to see how these children are similar to the boy in white, and what exactly do they want from Tabitha. Next, we cut to Jim and Donna, and this is where things get really interesting, because me personally, I have been wondering why the survivors haven't been making a bigger point to find out who exactly was on the other end of that radio at the end of Season 1. It seems like that was a pretty big revelation when Season 1 ended, and I'm surprised that we're only just now getting to Jim and Donna and the rest of the survivors even mentioning the voice on the radio. I know Jim himself, of course, has been trapped under the house for the first few episodes, but Donna hasn't even mentioned the voice on the radio to anybody else in the town, as far as I can tell. And as far as we could tell at the end of Season 1, it seems like only Jim and Donna were the only two that did hear the voice come through. But in the trailer, we hear Jim telling to Donna that there are people out there that can hear us. So now that Jim is up and at him, it seems like he is definitely going to be looking for answers as to who exactly was on that radio. To which Donna responds, how exactly do we even know that it was a human voice on the other end of that radio? Which is a very valid point. We know the monsters are very adept at trickery and sleight of hand and things like that. We know that they rely heavily on their human form to kind of manipulate the survivors. So it's very possible that it could have been one of the monsters on the other end of that radio. And it was very interesting that whoever was on the other end of the radio not only knew Jim's name, but knew that Tabitha was down there digging that hole too. So there's definitely a ton of questions as to what is going on there and whose voice that exactly was. I know there was a big fan theory going around in between Season 1 and Season 2 that the bartender Tom was actually the voice on the other end of that radio, being as Tom was one of the few people that did know that Tabitha was most likely digging a hole, as Tom did give Tabitha some digging supplies in Season 1. But unfortunately, after Tom's untimely death, it seems like that character was maybe one big red herring this whole time. But let me know down in the comment section below, whose voice do you think was on the other end of that radio? And does Donna have a point? Was it even a human voice on the other end of the radio? I tend to think whoever's voice it was might be attached to whatever entity is in charge of whatever is running this town. Whether it's a simulation, whether it's purgatory, whether it's some type of twisted experiment, who knows. But I do have a feeling whatever is going on, these survivors are most likely under some type of surveillance. It seems like whoever is in charge of this town, they can clearly see not only who the survivors are, their names, etc., but what they're doing at any given time. So whoever was on the other end of that voice, I do have a feeling it was either that entity or someone who was working for that entity. And I do have a feeling at one point or another there will be someone that has been a part of this town that has been passing themselves off as a normal survivor that is secretly working for whoever is in charge of this whole thing. I do think there could potentially be some human collaborators that are working for the monster side in the town posing as survivors. But that's just a hunch. But one thing that I did find pretty interesting was the upcoming synopsis for the next episode, This Way Gone, which reads, as Boyd's condition grows more alarming, Sarah's return to town puts him in a difficult position, and Jim shares a troubling new theory about the town. And I do remember seeing in one of the Season 2 trailers, Jim saying that maybe this whole place was designed just to see how we would react. So it seems like Jim is starting to venture into the territory that maybe this whole place isn't real, maybe it is one big experiment, and we are seeing a ton of hints of that in the season as well. Of course, we do hear Boyd, when he is in the tower with the old man, say, "What if Abby was right and this is all just a dream?" So they seem to be dropping a ton of hints left and right that seem to be pointing that this could maybe be one big dream, which, of course, I have a feeling is going to be one big misdirect at the end of the day. Or who knows, maybe this is just more evidence pointing to the simulation theory being true, which I do kind of hope isn't the case at the end of the day. I know even myself has put forth the idea that this could potentially be one big simulation, but I do hope that that isn't the case. I do tend to think we're leaning a little bit more into the supernatural area of things, but who knows. I would just really hate to see something this intriguing be boiled down to a simple computer program. But either way, whatever the writers have in store for us, I'm sure it is something that we are not going to see coming, and I'm sure it is going to be absolutely epic. But next, the trailer ends with Boyd, Sara, and Kenny. And of course, at the end of episode 3, we saw that Sara has indeed made her return to town, and she was in the basement of Father Cautry's church, where Kenny found her. So it seems like in this next episode they are going to be deciding what exactly to do about Sara, and it seems like Boyd and Kenny are definitely at odds as to what kind of punishment she should receive. Kenny, of course, is still upset, and he wants Sara brought to justice for the part that she played in Kenny's father's death. Because if you remember back to Season 1, it was Sara who left the clinic door open so the monsters could get inside, which ultimately led to the death of Kenny's father. So Kenny wants to throw Sara right into the box. But Boyd has a little bit of a different idea. Boyd doesn't want to see anybody go back into the box. And I think Boyd is just at the point where he just doesn't want to see any more of the survivors die if they don't have to. And I think Boyd still has a feeling that Sara might be pretty important going forward in terms of finding answers about this place. And of course, Boyd definitely does know that Sara is the only connection that they have to the mysterious voices that seem to be communicating with her. But let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think is going to be Sara's fate? Will she end up in the box, or will she be spared? Me personally, I tend to think that she will be spared. I have a feeling Sara is a little too important to the overall story to get killed off this soon, but who knows. And then the trailer ends with the most alarming scene, in my opinion, and that is Boyd dropping to his knees, clearly in some type of pain. And of course, the episode synopsis for the upcoming episode does clearly state that Boyd's condition is growing more alarming. So whatever is happening to Boyd, whatever those parasitic worms that Martin infected him with are, something is definitely starting to happen. And it's a little too soon to tell what the overall effect this is going to be on Boyd. We have no idea exactly how long Martin was chained up, and we have no idea exactly how long he had those parasitic worms in his blood. We don't know if they are lethal. We have no idea what they do, technically. So it's a little hard to tell what is going on right now beyond just mere speculation, but let me know down in the comment section below, what kind of effect do you think these worms are going to have on Boyd? And what will his fate ultimately be? But that is going to do it for this trailer breakdown for episode 4 entitled This Way Gone, airing this Sunday. And I really get the feeling that the show is setting up something big that is going to be coming over the next few episodes. It just feels like something big is about to happen. But let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, don't forget to hit that like on your way out, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content, as we will be covering all things From. And don't forget to come hang out with us live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live after show, where we dive into the latest episodes and the show's biggest mysteries. And as always, I want to thank everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.